and 11, all of those being attempted identity fraud against a person in a protected class, a felony of the 4th degree. This matter was referred to the Lake County Adult Probation Department for a pre-sentence investigation and report, as well as victim impact.
When the state starts dismissing charges, it's usually strategic, not leniency. They're narrowing the case to the strongest counts to secure a solid sentence.
Statements. That report has been prepared. The state has had an opportunity to review the report and is ready to proceed with sentencing. The state would move to dismiss the remaining counts of the indictment at this time, and there is 1 day of jail time credit. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Raymond.
Thank you very much. That's correct, Your Honor, and we've also had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation.
All right, go ahead.
This is the defense shifting the narrative, highlighting his job, clean record, and stability. The goal? Convince the judge this was a one-time lapse, not a criminal pattern.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Suttles is a 33-year-old man. Today, as I stated earlier, is his birthday. He's currently employed at the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority as a section hand electrician. He earns $22.30 per hour. He has never been convicted or pleaded to any felonies. He's currently not under community-controlled sanctions. He did have an outstanding warrant in Cleveland that was listed in the pre-sentence investigation. He has since resolved that matter. The risk assessment in the pre-sentence investigation stated that he was a low risk for reoffense. And in this matter, he's never been convicted. Like as I said, he's never been convicted of a felony before. He's never been convicted of a misdemeanor offense of violence within the last 2 years. There were no firearms involved. There's no prison involved. He's not on probation. No one was physically harmed. There's no bond violations in this matter. And as such, I believe he meets the requirements under the revised code for a community control sanction. And none of the disqualifying factors in the revised code 2913. And so we would request that he be placed on a community control sanction, and if any jail time is imposed, that he be allowed to work so that he may pay any restitution owed to any of the victims.
Okay, thank you.
This is the critical moment. The defendant speaks directly to the judge. Accountability matters here. Judges can tell the difference between genuine remorse and carefully worded excuses.
Mr. Suttles, what do you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
I just want to let the court know that I am extremely sorry, extremely empathetic for the victims involved. At the time, I was just under a lot of stress and responsibility, having to, pretty much bear the burden of my parent who was in dire need of help. And I took a shortcut.
What exactly did you do?
Pretty much what I did was I processed transactions for cell phone devices for customers that technically weren't there.
And so how did this all get uncovered?
It was uncovered from, I believe, T-Mobile's security team. It was an influx of transactions that were made, so the numbers were spiked pretty much month over month, and that's how they were able to uncover.
How many times you do this?
I believe 5 or 6 times within that time span.
Okay, so what was the source of your money for each of these transactions?
The source of the money?
Right.
It was actually paid with cash. It was paid with my cash, and then I will be reimbursed by the person who received the merchandise.
And how much money are we talking about here?
Realistically, out of my pocket for the transactions, usually like $200 or $300.
Nearly $11,000. This isn't minor. Notice how the judge digs into details. That's to measure intent, planning, and whether this was repeated behavior.
What's the total amount that T-Mobile's out here?
$10,975.65, Your Honor.
All right, so what's the reason you did it?
Just to make extra money, just help my mom out. She was, she lost her house. At the time, utilities were shut off, no food, going days without eating at all. And it was solely to help my mother out.
So you're working now at RTA?
Correct.
Doing what?
I'm a railroad electrician, pretty much.
And where did you learn the electrician trade?
So I learned that in high school. I learned that as a post-secondary with Ohio Technical College.
Okay. So did you ever work as an electrician before?
No, just as a welder.
Why were you working at T-Mobile?
Because I started out at 18 in college selling phones. I got really, really good at it, like really good. And I stuck with it. And at the time it paid more with commission-based sales.
How long had you been working there?
At that particular location, I'd say 3 years.
Okay. Where at? Which one?
In Willowick on Lakeshore Boulevard.
Where you live now?
I live in Cleveland.
Where at?
The West Park neighborhood, Lorraine.
All right, anything else you want to say?
Nothing else.
All right. Ms. Himmeline?
Thank you, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant stole merchandise from T-Mobile using stolen customer information that he knew was not legitimate and wasn't proper, to the tune of $10,975.65. But what's most notable in this case is that the 5 individual victims here were all elderly and or disabled. Some of them were in nursing homes, hospitalized for various reasons. So they didn't suffer any monetary loss, but it was certainly upsetting when the police showed up to them and let them know that their information had been used in this scheme. The defendant does have a prior history of...
The prosecution ties it all together: prior violations plus vulnerable victims. That combination makes jail time much more likely. Do you think 90 days is enough here, or too lenient?
Probation violations and failures to appear in court. So for those reasons, the state is asking that the court impose a sentence of community control along with local jail time. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report, listened to counsel, listened to Mr. Suttles, considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I find that you are amenable to community control, placing on community control for 5 years. You're going to serve 90 days in jail with credit for 1. You'd have no drugs or alcohol with screens. You are to complete the decision points program through probation to follow all recommendations. Restitution to T-Mobile in the amount of $10,975.65, 260 hours of community service, no contact with T-Mobile or any of these other victims. You're going to pay the cost and supervision fees. I'm going to have you report to begin your sentence November 26 at 9 a.m. and you will be granted work release. You're going to have to provide a schedule to the jail. You will have the availability to leave in order, with enough time to get to where you're going and enough time to get back after you're done working. And you're to go directly to and directly from work in the jail. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins, any other terms?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Now, how much of this On what schedule are you gonna pay back this restitution?
I could do monthly.
Okay, how much a month? How much do you make an hour?
23 and some change.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. Between now and when you start your jail sentence, you're gonna come up with a list of income and expenses, and you're gonna give that to the probation officer with a proposed amount that you're gonna pay each month toward restitution. Now, it didn't take you long to steal this stuff, so I don't want it taking long for you to pay it back either. You understand that?
I understand.
And then once that's given to me, I'll set the amount that that is to be. The remaining charges are dismissed. Anything else, Ms. Himmelay?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Inman?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, we're adjourned.